How's it going? Ryan here. Today I'm going to review a few trades that I took on Tesla. A bit of a change up there. One trade I took on SPY. Overall, bad day. I overtraded. I was impatient. And it bit me. My very first trade off the open was green. I had a nice trade off the open. Had a lot of bad trades that ended in results, ended in me being down much more than I would have liked. At the very end of the day, I did take a trade that brought some money back, but overall, a bad day. One of my worst days that I've had in a while. Not a great end to the week, but gives me time over the weekend to reflect and just become better from it, really, is all I can do. But that being said, we'll jump into the trades. Here's what we're looking at here is the daily time frame on Tesla. I had a few levels from the daily. So we had this 254.73 from the daily chart. We also had this 274.87. It was just the high of these 2 days. We had 280.84. It's just a level here. And then we had some levels from yesterday's session as well as some supply and demand. So we have this supply zone above us. You can see act as resistance when we went up into it. Once we cleared above it, act as support a couple times. That was a target to the upside in case we rallied. But we'll jump into a lower time frame here and we'll take a look at some of the things that I was looking from the previous couple days. So we've been in a bit of a range, a channel the past couple days. I had this supply zone from a few days back. What was that, Tuesday? It included the high of the day, but also you can see that once we rally up into here, we sold off pretty aggressively. Also had this demand zone down here where we wicked once, came down, consolidated, rallied out of that, tested, and then continued up. As well as this trend line here that was the low of day. I guess pre-market across the past couple days. And then demand zone from yesterday's low of day, and yesterday's high of day, and a supply zone from that. So we'll hop into a 5-minute chart here. We'll take a look. So what I wanted to see, especially in the pre-market, was we were showing strength and we were up above yesterday's, or not yesterday's, we're up above yesterday's high of day, but we were also up above this level from 3 days ago that we had reached and sold off pretty aggressively. What I was looking for initially was for us to hold above this level, and if we opened and held this area, I was going to long up until 280.84. So that was my original plan, but we opened below, pushed up into this area, could not break above it, pretty much tested the high of the pre-market. From here we sold off, and then not only did we sell off through this zone, but we sold off and broke through yesterday's high of day and that previous supply zone. Once we had broken through here and we'd opened up below, that was a pretty aggressive move to the downside, especially once testing the highs and then immediately selling off. My first trade of the day was puts here on this retest of this zone. So as we came up and we tested up in here, right around this 276.71 level, I got in. We pushed up a little higher, but quickly got sold off. And as we came down, I took profit right here at 275. So that was a nice trade off the open. That was my first trade of the day. That was a nice win. From there, we sold off, continued to come down, broke this trend line that I had mentioned on the hourly chart, came back up, retested it, bounced down, came back up and retested it again. I suppose I should not have entered this trade because we had already retested and sold from there and then rallied right back up. This would have been a good retest to take a put on. We broke through, we came back, retested it right to the cent. Taking puts here would have been a solid play and sold. I didn't catch that, but I did take puts here as we came up and retested it for a second time. Obviously, you can see that didn't work out for me. As we came up and passed 274, I got out of this trade for a loss. We then rallied, closed, held up above 274.87, came up. This is a beautiful example of a reversal candle. A rally up, this doji, and then a sell-off. I ignored this. That was my first mistake. We came down, tested this level. I got in calls looking for continuation up until this level. I wanted to see us hold this and then come up and test this previous day's high. I didn't wait for confirmation here, so that was a second problem. My first problem was ignoring this candle. Second problem was not waiting for confirmation to hold this level. We sold off there. I took a second loss there. I think those were my losses on Tesla. Did I take any other? I don't think I take any other trades through here. The other loss that I had was on SPY. It was the one trade that I took on SPY. Funny enough, it would have worked had I held it, but I did not hold it. So what I was watching later in the day is we had this bear flag. Essentially, we sold off. We started flagging and coming up towards this 450 or 445 level. I wanted to see us break here. I got in puts somewhere in here when we broke slightly below it. So once again, I wasn't patient. We broke slightly below this level. I got in puts, but then we came up here and that stopped me out as we were holding above this level. Had I been patient and waited, you can see that we did break and sell off. So I had 444 puts at the break of this. I guess the right idea, looking for this flag, but the wrong timing. Once again, impatient, and then sold for a loss. And since I was trading, another mistake that I made today, trading 0 day till expiration options. So I got in here, we chopped around a bit as we were holding up here. I was down like 30% on these options. So I just took the loss rather than holding and seeing what happened. But shortly after I took that loss, we did sell down. So pretty bad timing there. I should have waited for a more official break. But that was a bad trade as well. So those were my losses. Overall in the day, I oversized my positions. Usually I only trade one contract. I was trading multiple contracts. I was trading 0 day till expiration. I wasn't going in with a solid plan. I was allowing myself to take too big of losses. I was being impatient. I pretty much committed every crime that you can when you're trading, and I paid for it. So I didn't blow my account, but I just had a much bigger loss than I would have liked. So a bit of a bummer there, but I will say that at the very end of the day, I had one winning trade that I am somewhat happy about. I consider it probably my only good trade of the day because this was even a little risky. My other winning trade was pretty risky. I don't think I would have entered that normally. But I'm just going to clear all of this and just show the trade that I took. The trade that I took was this right here. And it worked out pretty beautifully. I saw us sell off, and then we're in this rising wedge. On this break and retest right here, I got in puts. I got in puts way out of the money. I got in puts at 270. I got 270 puts, which we didn't even reach. Even after that massive sell-off, we didn't reach. So I got way out of the money because the contracts were cheap and I could load up the quantity. I got 10 contracts. I was trying to make my losses back. That right there is terrible. But the trade itself was good. Seeing this rising wedge on a weak day, we break, we retest. I took puts there. Solid trade. I will say that that was a nice move, a nice trade. I oversized. I was trading emotionally, but I did trade this well, funny enough. This is my last trade of the day. We came down. I sold on this candle here. So I held through this. We sold, we came down. We were testing this area around 273 that we had been showing some support earlier, and that's where I sold. So I didn't get the most out of that move. We sold off another, $2 from there. So, but that was a decent trade, and I was able to recover a significant amount of my losses with that, but still a big losing day that I'm not proud of at all. Definitely going to go back to the drawing board a bit. Definitely going to reassess probably my approach. I want to be more consistent in my timing, in my charting, in my analysis. Yeah, I think I threw a lot at myself today by trading a different ticker, by trading 0 day till expiration options. And I think I was overlooking some glaringly obvious things that I just overlooked because I was, maybe not taking it seriously or just out of the rhythm. But whatever it was, I'm glad that I'm actually glad to have a few days off of trading so I can kind of reassess and come back refreshed. But that's how I traded the day. Those were the mistakes I made. And yeah, that's how it played out. I made mistakes and I paid for it, but we survived. We made a little bit back in the end, but overall, a pretty bad day. So I appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, thank you. I trade live every Monday through Friday, so if you want to come stop by, if you feel so inclined, please do. I love interacting and chatting with people. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Peace.